Hello and welcome. Today I want to share a technique to make some beautiful dyed papers. And I have 3 of those aluminum pans that you can buy at the grocery store, the disposable kind. I have some sprays and I have some copy paper. I use 28-pound copy paper. It's a little bit stronger than the standard copy paper that most people use. You can pick that up at any office supply store. And I also have some strong tea that I brewed. I usually don't measure too much, but in this case, I brewed 6 cups and I put in 8 bags of black tea because that's what I use. I like to brew dark tea so that my papers have a nice brown stain on them, color. So I'm putting filling one of the pans with the tea. I have some droppers there because a lot of my sprays end up clogged up and don't work. So if that happens, which it does, I have those droppers that I bought for that very reason. So I don't usually bother with gloves, but in this case, I didn't want to stain my hands on this particular day. So you can use gloves or not. I'm dipping the paper into the tea. This is how I usually tea stain my paper, and then I'll usually just lay it down on some plastic to dry. But in this case, I'm putting it in that middle pan, and then I'm going to add some colors. Now I'm using some Dina Wakley sprays, some Seth Apter sprays, and some Lindy's Stamp Gang sprays. I have a bunch of those that are years old and I hardly ever use them, so I'm happy to use them for this technique. And you can see there that I had to take out my dropper already and use it. I also have some Marabou sprays, which I don't even think are sold anymore. So just use whatever sprays you have. So while I'm doing this, I'll tell you how I learned of this technique. I first saw it on Instagram, and that post referred me to a video by Teresa H. Creates here on YouTube, and I will post a link to her video down below because she does this process I'm following her steps exactly, except she uses distress sprays, which I did not use. I just wanted to use some other sprays that I have. I just have a few distress sprays anyway, but next time I might try it with some distress sprays, and I definitely want to try it again with other colors. So once you put the colors on, I just put 2 or 3 on each paper. You just crumple it up. And that's what the third pan is for. You just put the crumpled ball in the third pan and then you let the papers dry. And that's about it. I'm going to do a few more to show you, but it's a really simple process, but you need to get, yourself organized with your 3 containers and your sprays. And then from there, it's pretty easy. The hardest thing, to be honest, was it took my papers forever to dry. So that's about it. Oh, and then some of my papers, I don't know, they kind of stuck in a couple of places. And also when I opened them up, they kind of tore a little bit. A lot of them did because I just don't think I was careful enough. And also, because some of the sprays are acrylic and permanent, like the Dina Wakley sprays and the Marabou sprays are, that might have caused some of that stiffness or sticking together because they're not water-soluble sprays. Like that's a Seth Apter gold spray, which is water-soluble. The Lindy Stamp Gang sprays are also water soluble. I hope that makes sense. So if you do use inks to try this, which I would do if that's what you have, just be aware that it might be a little bit harder to open them back up when they're dry. And the other thing that I have to the side that you can't see is a water bottle in case you wanted to use that to kind of spread your inks, your sprays around. So again, I'm just going over this. I mean, doing this over and over again. Something else I would mention, spray that works, is that, I love that color too, is that after I had finished with all this, I wish that I had tried some different papers, like maybe some deli paper, some rice paper, things like that, because those would be great for collage as they are more translucent. So that might be a cool effect. So I'll try this again another time. But for now, I made quite a few papers and, I didn't want to overdo. So I don't really know what else to say. Maybe I shouldn't. I shouldn't talk too much while you're watching, but again, I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And one other thing I'll mention, and then I'll skip ahead, is that once you have done several of these papers, you kind of build up some liquid at the bottom of your tray. So even though I'm only spraying on one side, color on one side of the paper, they do get a little color on the underside with what's in your tray. And also some of the color does seep through to the back. You'll see when I unwrap my papers. So I'll just skip ahead now and show you how I'm doing a little bit later in the process. Here's my last paper. My tray is pretty full. I had about 3 or so papers that I kind of put on a second layer, but I didn't want to do too many. So I'm just showing you I have all my papers. I'm going to let those dry and then unwrap them and I'll be back. So it's the next day and here are my papers. I started to unwrap these to show you the next step in the process, which is to iron them flat. But as I was opening them, I thought they were dry, but they were still very damp in the middle. And I had, it's the next day, and the day before I had put them in the sun for a little while and then let them sit overnight inside my house, but they are still damp. We've had some cooler weather, so I guess it didn't leave them outside long enough. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the next step, which is really very, very simple. But see, I tore a lot of them as I was opening them because I was just too impatient. So I have a very inexpensive iron I bought just to use for my art project. So that's what I'm going to use on a high setting to iron these. It's a no steam iron because usually I don't need steam for the projects that I use it for. And I still love the way the papers look. They're beautiful, I think. And I'll come back and show you all the papers. But after I ironed a couple, I decided I checked the others and they were still very damp. But so then I decided to just stop and wait. What I did was I kind of partially opened them and then I set them out in the sun again. And then I let them sit partially open like that in my house overnight again. So when I come back, it'll be the next day. Look how pretty that turned out. So it'll be the next day when I come back and show you all the papers. Okay, here are how my papers turned out. I'll do a quick flip through of all of them. Yesterday they were still not dry, so I opened them up a little bit and let them dry overnight again. Because I didn't want to tear them too much. Some of them tore, except most of them actually, but it's okay because I don't think I'll use these papers as they are. I probably tear them anyway and use them in collage in different ways, but I wanted to show you how pretty some of the patterns are. I love this side. Both sides are really nice, even though you saw that I only dipped one side. This one is beautiful. Look at that. Excuse me. This one's a little light, but it's still got some pretty creases and colors. I love this too. I love both sides. Some of these is going to be hard to decide which side to use. This one tore a lot, as you can see, but it's so pretty. I had to rescue it. Look at those spots. I just love the way that looks. And this one too. I love that. It reminds me a little bit of eco printing, the leaves. that you can do. So here is this one. This is the, I can't think of the name of the spray that has the shine on it. Sorry about that. I love that. I hope you can see the shine there. It's really pretty. I love this color too. Again, both sides are pretty. This one is a little bit nicer, but anyway, here's another one like that other paper I did. It tore in a couple, no, just one place. But you know, there's little parts of there tore there too. But anyway, look at this little spot there, that spot there. This side is beautiful too. This one's really cool, I think, because it's got the shiny gold, if you can see that. This side doesn't have the shiny, but also look at how pretty that is. Anyway, it's going to be hard deciding. I love this one. It's got shiny gold, a little bit of turquoise teal kind of color, and that purple. Look at that, how pretty. This one too. A lot of them tore, as you can see. And next time I'll be a little more careful. This area right here is just beautiful. If you just use that like on a tag or a card or even in an art journal, so pretty. More pretty gold and teal. I want to try this again with some different papers and some different colors because I just wanted to do this really quickly and do the video too to share it, because I just really thought this technique is really, it turns out with beautiful papers. I love this color too. It's not a color I would use very often, but I like it. Not sure which side. That one. This has the, it looks like silver, but it's actually, I think it's like a bronzy color. This one's really pretty too. No shine, but beautiful wrinkles and colors. I forgot to say that I ironed these, obviously, but I'm going to press them under some heavy books to flatten them out a little bit more. This one has nice colors on here. And then this one, again, that pretty green and turquoise color, which I really like a lot, and the bronze shiny kind of color. So that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.